I can't tell you how many times I've had a guy show up at a recovery meeting saying he is turning his life around after finding the right woman. He inevitably claims God sent her into his life. And maybe that's so. I'm not capable to say that's not true, but I question that. I get this experience having thought it myself at one time or another in my life, but I know differently today. I I I just, my experience has been that, you know, we find these relationships and we think they're like the perfect person. Now, most everyone thinks your soulmate is someone who you have instant chemistry with, and knowing each other so well that you don't have to say a word while the other person understands and gets you right from the start with literally knowing nothing about you at all. Unfortunately, most relationships that start this way end up going sideways very fast. The next thing you know, we send all of our energy trying to fix our partners so that we can get back to being soulmates when things go wrong. But it just doesn't work out that way. There's a significant number of wounded people searching for the right person, and we think finding the right person will fix all our problems. But it often ends up exasperating our problems and making them worse than what we had before or back to the same old. What most people don't realize is that you need to fix your own problems before you meet that right person so you can be that right person when that person comes around. I often say I don't want to meet the right person right now because I know I'm not the right person for the kind of woman that I would want to have as a partner in my life. That's why I'm happily single and will stay that way until I'm ready. And if I meet someone who is on the same path as I am, then and only then would I enter into another relationship. Being single was something that I dreaded for most of my life, and I ended up in three failed marriages. So I have some experience doing the wrong things. I believed in soulmates, and I did believe that I would be able to find that perfect person for most of my life. And I even thought I had found that relationship when I met the second to the last relationship that I had, which is 8 years ago. So I just don't jump into relationships, but I did do a lot of studying, and I watched a lot of people that went through relationship problems. I deal with them all the time. I deal with guys that are going through struggles in their relationships, and that has helped me to make a lot of realizations in my life and understand relationships. And so in my case, that person that I met that who I thought was my soulmate was a great person to have in my life. She was a catalyst that drove me into recovery and investing in my relationship with Christ. She literally was there at a time when I had the most profound moment that totally put me onto a path where I actually love myself. But it wasn't her that did that. She was a catalyst. Now, I got along perfectly with her initially and had an incredible attraction. And I worked really hard, harder than ever, to make that relationship work. I really wanted to be with her, and I thought she did too. But I thought there were things that she just had to get over. And what I didn't realize is there were things that I had to get over. I thought I had it figured out because it worked so right. And in my view, I would say she screwed it up and then come back and I'd let her back in. Well, both of us had a lot to work on. And the relationship just wasn't right, even though she was literally the love of my life and the soulmate. It happened over and over and it was maddening, but I loved her more than anyone I had loved before. And she did change my life. And so having her have so much influence on my life drove me towards her and just kept me coming back and working harder because I felt that that's what God wanted, that He wanted us to be together. And at the same time, there were roadblocks that kept on getting in the way. Then it turned out to she became a catalyst for me because it drove me towards recovery, drove me towards wanting to work on helping her and get her fixed. And so I went to recovery meetings and really dug in, thinking that I was going to fix her. And so it made another huge impact on my life because I ended up getting fixed. And I did. I felt like I owed her. I felt like I needed to save her, and that was a false belief that was destructive, even though she had a profound impact on my life. She needed to worry about fixing herself, and I needed to worry about fixing myself, and that meant going in different directions. Some people are meant to be a season in your life, and they can make dramatic impacts in your life in a positive way, but be destructive. And that was the case in this relationship because every time it turned around, it always ended up in destruction and things didn't go right. And then we would come back together and it just didn't blend. I think that men are often willing to stay in destructive relationships because a woman makes an impact on them, causing them to change their lives. But we have to realize that nobody's perfect other than Christ and that we can't fix other people. The truth is, soulmates aren't perfect people, and we don't have to like the same things and have every moment be happy. Life doesn't work that way. Finding the right person is finding a person that is willing to work together to become one. That person oftentimes is an acquired taste and not instant chemistry. The relationship builds over time as you learn more about each other and you're willing to sacrifice for each other. Both of you have to take the time to be comfortable alone, and you don't need to be with someone to find fulfillment. You are with this person because they complement you and are willing to walk through tough times as you are willing to walk with them through tough times. Older people tend to have past traumas that impact relationships, that the new relationships, and those traumas from the past need to be dealt with before you enter into a new relationship if you truly want to have a healthy relationship. Partners need to be vulnerable and trust each other, realizing that both will make mistakes and both will work to overcome those mistakes together. You have to have grace for your partner, and they have to have grace for you. They have to be willing to help you, and sometimes helping you means not enabling you to do things you shouldn't do and being willing to take a step back. They have to sometimes have to show tough love with each other, and other times they have to be there to be a shoulder to cry on, and so on. And understanding that difference is an important part to a healthy relationship. Far too many people go from a relationship to another relationship without taking time between partners to reflect and grow. We often recommend no relationships for 12 months in recovery because that gives you time to get comfortable with yourself and to work on your own issues so that you can become the right person. Many people will be on their best behavior when they first meet somebody, and that's where we're misleading with our potential partner. We try to put the best foot forward, and that doesn't help because people don't get to know you. They don't get to know your quirks, your hangups, and the things that you have to work on. That's why the best partners often start as acquaintances or through friendships. People who are friends first are careful about entering into relationships because they might fear losing the friendship, or they might know your dirt. They probably know your dirt and are sitting there saying, do I really want to do that? Do I love this person that much that I want to enter into a relationship with them? And that helps because they know what they're getting into and you know what you're getting into. You're better prepared for challenging times. If you're looking for your soulmate, you might want to spend more time working on yourself, becoming the right person. Working on yourself prepares you so that when the right person appears, you'll be the right person for them. There's a book that changed my outlook on relationships, and it's called The Secret Search by Gary Thomas. Now, it's a Christian book and it's directed towards Christians, but I think anyone would benefit from the sound content that is found in this book. It's going to be difficult if you're already in a relationship, and it will help you to reflect on relationships that you had in the past. It's a fantastic book for looking to find somebody that's going to be a soulmate. In other words, soul is in like your shoe. They're going to walk with you. One of the things that was in this book that was so interesting to me is that most couples, well, it takes actually married couples. Um, Mr. Thomas said in the book that it takes 12 years to get to know your spouse. And I'd have to say that's true. I had several marriages. I had one that went 9 years, and I had one that went 12 years. And literally, I was just getting to know my third wife at 12 years when we split up. And I think if I would have been grounded in my Christian faith, if I would have been working on myself, I probably wouldn't have ended that marriage. As a matter of fact, I'm quite confident I would not have ended that marriage because I was married to somebody who was a friend who I had built a friendship with. And while we had a short time between friendship to relationships to getting married, that we really had a friendship in our marriage. And that was a friendship that I lost. And I really valued that friendship. And I valued that relationship. And there were a lot of good things that came out of it. There was a lot of heartache and a lot of hurt. And we just let it go because we could just walk away and get a divorce. And things were tough at that time. And I really think that was the wrong reason. And so I learned more about that down the road. Now, in the future, when I'm going into my relationships, I would definitely look for a friend first before I would get into any relationship, if I get into a relationship going forward. So that's my perspective. And again, I know it's hard to take advice from somebody that has had so many failed marriages and somebody that is not in a relationship at the present time. But the reason why I'm not in a relationship at the present time is because I've got a sound basis for not being in a relationship, and because I just haven't connected with that right person yet, that is somebody that will walk with me and that I'm capable to walk with at the same time. And I'm comfortable with that. It's okay. I don't have to have that to be fulfilled because I have my relationship with Christ, and I am, everything I do is based in that, and I feel really comfortable being alone. But I have lots of people around me that have gone through similar things, and they've managed to either find the relationship or they're struggling with their relationship. And so I deal with that all the time, and I can see the patterns with that. And that's how I can do this video and offer this insight to it. So thanks so much for watching. And if you resonated with this video, please let me know in the comments below. If you didn't like it, you can let me know in the comments and I'll respond. And if you want to learn more about life transformation and recovery, be sure to check out my next video. And don't forget to subscribe if you do like it. And I'll catch you in the next video again. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.